Hey everyone, welcome to another video by Simplilearn. I'm sure you must have watched our previous videos on Blue Prism. If you haven't watched them already, I would suggest you to go through tutorials on Blue Prism. Blue Prism is a global leader in intelligent enterprise automation, transforming the way employees work by making it simple for individuals to automate operations. Blue Prism helps enterprises improve operational efficiency and agility. If you're planning to attend an interview for an RPA or Blue Prism developer role, here is a comprehensive list of the most frequently asked Blue Prism interview questions with answers. But before we begin, make sure you have subscribed to our YouTube channel and clicked on the bell icon so you never miss an update from Simplilearn. So without wasting any further time, let's get started. We will first look at the beginner level interview questions. What is Blue Prism? Blue Prism is a software that develops enterprise robotic process automation, allowing businesses to automate complex end-to-end operations. Blue Prism developed the virtual workforce platform concept and works on the enterprise robotic process automation platform that is strong, highly scalable, secure, and reliable. Blue Prism software complements standard IT solutions by utilizing an agile virtual workforce that follows rule-based business process and interacts with system the same way users do. Blue Prism's RPA software solution automates tasks that would otherwise be carried out manually by humans, or through significant customization of current IT systems, which would result in a higher level of automation with significantly lesser investment and faster deployment. Explain the different types of tabs in Blue Prism dashboard. There are 6 types of tabs in Blue Prism. The first tab is Home. The home page includes many charts that provide information on the Blue Prism database. Blue Prism Studio is a critical component through which we build actual automation actions. With Studio, we can automate a process, build a process using flow, add logic, calculations, and intelligence without writing any code. We can also drag in actions, calculations, loops, and more. In Studio, we can connect the blocks in preferred order. We can use intelligent skills from Digital Exchange. The studios are divided into 2 categories, Object Studio and Process Studio. Control Room. The control room is the key administrative point in Blue Prism, where it handles the control, monitoring, execution, and scheduling of process executions on dispersed bots. The control room assigns the processes to digital workers. Users can quickly start a process by dragging it onto a resource. Analytics. Blue Prism Analytics is a module that allows you to see data graphically in the form of charts such as pie chart, bar chart, column, gauge, and line. Releases. The Release Manager is used to manage configuration package, import and export between multiple Blue Prism settings. System. Administrators use the System tab to manage users. Explain the features of Blue Prism. Provides intelligent execution technology. Organizations can instruct the autonomous engine on process priorities, feed amounts of work, and leave it to run without human involvement, responding to systems, business scenario, and change in priority. Robots like humans can be used to do tasks based on SLA volume and priority and adjust and change robot allocation dynamically without human intervention. High security. A software robot securely locks into an application and manipulates the presentation layer in the same manner a person would, but in a controlled, non-invasive environment, ensuring that the application's integrity is never affected. On-premises or in the cloud. On-premises or hybrid enterprise deployment provisioned in a public or a private cloud. The robots are existing and running. Any operation set in Blue Prism can be conducted on any number of robots in the virtual workforce. Microsoft SQL Server. Blue Prism is built on Microsoft .NET framework. It is technologically flexible, working across the other platforms and technologies such as a mainframe, Windows app, WPF app, Java, SAP, Exchange, and many more. Scalability. Blue Prism is object-oriented, allowing for a rapid scalability by utilizing reusable items and libraries. Analytics and reporting provides high-quality data that can be used to produce relevant BI and MI reporting and provide inline process statistics and real-time operational insights by capturing each step. Work queues. Work queues provides a queue-centric approach for dynamically controlling the number of resources or robots operating against a given queue at any given time. What is a process studio? The process studio is created as a diagram that looks much like a common business flow diagram. Process studio allows the company or IT to design, build, edit, and test process made out of reusable Blue Prism elements. As the library of business object grows, actions can be scheduled and controlled in the process layer, the top tier of the Blue Prism architecture. Process Studio provides a similar interface to Object Studio and allows you to sequence and test business logic, control loops, variables, and object calls in visible business flow. What is Object Studio? Object Studio is the design canvas on which Blue Prism robot is programmed to conduct the fundamental system activities that serve as a foundation of process. The presentation layer, which provides a library of elements to operate quickly, models, and validates the target desktop application. We have several types of activities within the object, such as modular application to spy the elements, initialize page, and cleanup page. What is control room in Blue Prism? Control room allows businesses or IT services to schedule, perform, and control processes. Blue Prism platform administrators use the control room interface to monitor and review the status of connected runtime resources in the production environment. The interface also allows for manual process start and stop, automated process schedule setting, and extensive management information and dig downs into Blue Prism task queues. In production environment, processes are run from a control room. From control room, processes do not run on a version of Blue Prism that is local to your desktop, but is instead run on an external resource known as digital workers, which can be found in the resource area. What is the environment variable? The environment variable is a type of exposure in data item in which data item value is easily changed without using the processor object. It is available in the System tab under the Process section. Which are the data types available in Blue Prism? Data items can store a range of data types, though each data item within a process must be assigned a specific data type to store. The data types available in Blue Prism are as follows: date, flag, date time, number, text, password, time, image, and binary. Explain wait stage. Wait stage enables business objects to pause and wait for an application to load or a condition to be met before continuing. Wait conditions can be applied to wait stages to evaluate whether a condition exists within a specific period. The wait condition produces a flag value determining which of the two branches the logic will flow down. It is best to include a conditional wait stage at the start of every object diagram. It is possible to set multiple wait conditions for a wait stage by adding additional rows into the action area. The wait stage simultaneously checks each wait condition. It doesn't require all wait conditions to be met. Even if one condition is met, the path will be determined. If none of the wait conditions are met, the action will time out. Explain the benefits of Blue Prism. Automated speed. Days and weeks to automate a process in Blue Prism that would take months and years to automate using a standard automation methodologies. Less expense. Robots are programmed with the business rules of repetitive clerical duties and deployed to drive existing applications, eliminating the requirement for costly integration and process redesign expertise. Improved performance. A small specialist ability within the IT department collaborates with the robotic workforce to train them, manage referrals, and continuously enhance their operational performance. Secure. The robotic automation platform is secure, audited, and governed within the governance IT corridor. The usage of software robots invariably increases compliance with applicable data standards and confidentiality. Scalable. Because the software robots operate in a virtualized environment, they can be rapidly scaled up and down based on the demand. What is exceptional handling in Blue Prism? Exceptional handling is a critical part of any Blue Prism solution. An exception is a problem that arises during the execution of a process or an object. When errors are encountered in Blue Prism, it generates exceptions. The managing of exceptions in unattended automation is defined as exception handling. It ensures that defaults can be automatically fixed if possible, or that they are easily identified, repairable by a system administrators, or that they can be forwarded for human completion if necessary. Exception handling success is determined by how well it is implemented throughout the development phase. Explain the different stages of exception handling. The different stages of exceptional handling are recovery, resume, and exception. In recovery stage begins a block for handling exceptions. In resume stage, it ends a block for handling exceptions. In exception stage, explicitly raises an exception in the execution of a process or an object. Explain the applications of Blue Prism. Blue Prism's RPA software is used in the following process types. Rules-based processing using a structured digital inputs such as credit card activation or fraud detection. Transactional processing that is repeated such as SIM swaps or invoicing processing. Transaction quantities that are high such as billing or new handset order processing. Issues with process adherence quality such as policy renewals or policy migrations. Complex mission critical procedures such as pension redemptions and financial reconciliation. Changes in demand or backlogs such as new product launches. Used in HR onboarding or the introduction of new online product where no integration exists. Now let us look at the intermediate level interview questions. What is an application modeler? Which are the different types of spying modes present in it? A business object aims to integrate with an application to make the business accessible for use by a Blue Prism process. To create the integration, you must connect the business object to the application by creating an application modeler. This can be achieved via application modeler within the Object Studio. The process of creating a logical representation of an application by identifying and capturing elements from the user interface of the application is called spying. The four different types of spying modes are as follows: Win32 mode, HTML mode, accessibility mode, and region mode. Explain circular paths in Blue Prism. Blue Prism is designed to automate repetitive work, and inclusion of circular paths. Looping process diagrams enables some steps to be repeated over and over again. Components that are essential for building circular path which will allow a process flow to loop through, then progress to the end once the loop limit is met. Components that are essential for building a circular path which will allow a process flow to loop through, then process to the end once the loop limit is met. Explain the types of exceptions in Blue Prism. The three types of exceptions in Blue Prism are internal exception. Internal exceptions come based on our missing mandatory data in stages. System exceptions. These exceptions will occur based on the internet is down or our bot needs internet or any system failures. Business exceptions. These exceptions are not really exceptions. They are based on the business rules we are creating the exceptions. We need to fire manually through the bot. What are work queues? A work queue is a list that may be configured internally to help a process manage its workload. A process may use numerous work queues, and work queue may be shared by multiple processes if necessary. Work queues are created and configured in the workflow area of System Manager. This is where work queues can be provided with a name and a key name. The key name directly correlates to a column name in the collection stage used within a process to add new items to a work queue. Explain the stages in Process Studio. Decision stage. Decision stage have two branches coming out of them. enabling a process to split into two separate paths. They are used to evaluate the result of an expression as either true or false. In Blue Prism, these outcomes are known as flags. Calculation stage. Calculation stage use expressions to calculate values. These can be numerical or made using values such as text, dates, etc. They are dependent on data items to store results and can work with data items to perform calculations. Data items. Data item acts as a placeholder for values such as numbers, text, and dates. They can give meaningful names like username, email ID, and employed around the process diagram. Data item is like a variable. Explain process validation. The validation button opens the process validation window for diagnosing issues. The validation window categorizes issues as errors, warning, and advice. It identifies the type of action that should be taken to resolve them and whether they are repairable by Blue Prism. Validation checks the basic construction of process diagram, but it is not capable of analyzing the logic. The responsibility is always on the user. Explain collections and loops in Blue Prism. Collection stage provides process diagram the ability to hold multiple values together. The values stored within a collection stage are accessed one row at a time, using a loop stage to move forward through the rows. Loop stages is divided into two parts, loop start and loop end. Explain business objects. The purpose of business object is to provide an interface to capture the functionality of an application. Business objects are used as a part of process solution and can be thought of as a separate layer of process. The tasks within a business objects are separated out in different pages known as actions. Each action relates to a particular interaction with an application, and a process will use whichever of these actions it requires, in any order to perform a specific task within the application. Explain the difference between Process and Object Studio. In Process Studio, the development tool creates a diagram that resembles a flow diagram. Object Studio creates objects graphically by the development tool. Process Studio has alert stage only. Object Studio has read, write, navigate, code, and wait stage. Process Studio consists of main page only. Object Studio consists of initialize and cleanup page. Process Studio interacts with the Object Studio and control room. Object Studio interacts with external applications. Launch an application modeler is not available in Process Studio, but whereas in Object Studio, it is available. Explain throttles and unconditional waits in Blue Prism. Wait stages can be used without any conditions, with the timeout serving as a pause to delay the flow through the diagram. This is referred as throttling. Throttling allows some extra time to accommodate the variable performance speed of an application. It is best practice to include throttling at the beginning of every action page that interacts within the application. Explain the input and output parameters in Blue Prism. Input and output parameters are used to transmit values between the process diagram and the business object action. Business objects, any value that is required to input into the elements of an application should be passed down from a process via an input parameter. The business object should only retain the information passed down to it for as long as it takes to complete the interaction. An end stage on the lower page can use output parameters to transmit a value up to a page reference stage on an upper page. Now let us look at some of the advanced level Blue Prism interview questions. What is a scheduler and how to configure it? The Blue Prism tool allows to execute process at a specified times and repeat their execution at different intervals. It is termed as scheduler. The Blue Prism tool allows you to run process at a specific times and repeat them at different intervals. This is known as scheduler. Configure scheduler in the System tab by clicking on the Scheduler option. After we configure the scheduler, we need to click on the checkbox to activate it. Explain Release Manager in Blue Prism. Blue Prism Release Manager enables users to compile all of the components of a Blue Prism solution into a package, including processes, business objects, and work queues, and schedules calendars, tiles, and dashboards. To export a solution package, a release must be created by right-clicking Package Overview and selecting New Package. A release is a snapshot of a state of each of the components within a package at a particular moment in time. How to create object in Object Studio. Here are the steps to create object in Object Studio. Launch the Blue Prism software and open the Studio tab. Right-click on the objects and select Create Object. Then enter a name for new business object, enter the description, which is optional, and finally it will create an object in Objects list. So let's jump into Blue Prism software and create object. So after launching the Blue Prism software, go to Studio, go to Objects, right-click Objects and click on Create Object. Enter the name of the object. So I'll enter Object Demo. After entering the name, click on Next and enter the description, which is optional, and click on Finish. And here you can see the object is created in the object list. That is how you create an object in the Object Studio. Explain the concept of exceptional bubbling. Exceptions can occur at any point throughout a process solution. Whenever an exception occurs, it will always move up towards the main page of the process to the highest layer of the process solution. An exception will continue to bubble up from an action in business object and then through the hierarchy of pages within the calling process until it reaches the page that contains the recovery logic. At this point, the exception will be handled. If the main page of the highest layer of the process solution does not have logic to handle the error, then an error message window will appear when running in Process Studio. If the same error occurs when running a process in control room, the process will terminate. How to import VBO in Blue Prism. The first step is go to Blue Prism Studio and click on File and click on Import. Then the Import Release dialog box opens. Click on Browse, navigate to Program Files in C drive. In Program Files, go to Blue Prism Limited, then to Blue Prism Automate and open VBO. From there, you can double click and select the object. Demonstrate the working of an email automation in Blue Prism. First, we'll create a new process, then we'll perform some of the actions in which we will use action stage, data item and collection stage. And after performing all the required actions, finally we will go to our mail inbox and check if we have received the mail. So we will jump into Blue Prism software and see how to import an VBO in Blue Prism and see the working of email automation in Blue Prism. Let's go to Studio. The very first step is to import email POP3 SMTP business object. To import that, go to File, go to Import Process Object and go to Browse. You have to go to the folder where Blue Prism software is installed. In my device, it's installed in C. Go to local disk C, go to Program Files and go to Blue Prism Limited, Blue Prism Automate. Here, scroll down and go to VBO, Business Objects. And here you can see email POP3 SMTP. Click on Open, select this and click on Open and click on Next. Click on Next. Click on Next. So when you're done with this, the email POP3 SMTP will be imported. The next thing is create a new process. So select process, go to create new process and let's name the process. We'll name the process as email automation. Click on next. Enter a description of this process if you want, so that if some other user opens the file, he should know that what is the process about. So enter the description, it's optional. So we'll click on finish. And let's open this process now. The very first step is to drag and drop an action. So select action and drop it here. Open this action. So in first step, we will set up the email POP3 SMTP business object. So we'll name this action as setup. Select the business object as email POP3 SMTP, and the action is configure. We are configuring it. And here we have to enter the username, password, POP3 server details. So from where do we get the server details? To get the server details, we have to go to the browser. Go to the browser and search as Gmail server configuration. Here you see, you will get all the details here, the port number, the email. So in the SMTP server, we'll enter the smtp.gmail.com and the port number as 587. And in the POP3, we will enter pop@gmail.com and port number as 995. And both the servers will turn it on. To turn it on, we'll write it as true. So we'll go back to the Blue Prism. So enter the server pop.gmail.com, enter it in the double quotes, and SMTP server, enter as smtp.gmail.com. And the POP3 port number is 995. And the SMTP port number is 587. And POP use SSL should turn it on. To turn it on, we need to enter the value as true. Okay, now we should enter the username and password. If I enter the password here, for example, if I enter the password here, the password is visible. We don't want the password to be visible. The password should be encrypted. So for the password to be encrypted, in data item there is an option called password in data types. So go to data item, drag and drop a data item, and select the data type as password. And enter the password here. Here the password will be encrypted. And click on OK. We'll name the data item as password. Similarly, we will use another data item for username. Name the data item as username. Select the data type as text and give the initial value. So enter your email ID. And click on OK. So now we have username and password. Now go to the setup and select the username and password. Drag and drop this username and in the passwords, drag and drop the password. So the setup is done. The next step is we want to enter the subject and the data in the mail. Right, for that we need to use another action item, drag and drop another action. Name it as sending message. Select the business object as email pop SMTP and go to action, and in the action select the action as send message. Here you need to enter the email ID to whom you want to send. So I'll enter the email ID which we had entered in the username. Enter both the from and to email IDs. So I'll use the same email ID. Since this is just for demo, I'm using the same email ID. So enter the subject. Subject, I'll enter it as demo. And enter the body. Hello. So now that we have entered the subject and body, let's close this. And now let us now use the link and connect it. Now let us click on run and check whether we have received the email. Oh, oops, there is an error. We have missed something. Oh, we have missed a double quote. Let us save again. Reset and run. So the process is completed. Let us go to the email inbox and check whether we have received the email. So let me refresh, and here you go. We have received the email as hello and the subject is demo. So we have received the email. Now let us send it with an attachment. So for that we go to the Blue Prism. We go to sending message here. Here you can see attachment. Attachment is of the data type collection, right? So for that we need to use a collection item. So drag and drop a collection. Go to collections and click on import. Select the business object as email and select the action as send message, then the parameter with attachments. Select the attachment and click on OK. Next go to initial value. In initial value click on add. You can add multiple path here and attach how many ever attachments you want. For now we'll attach only one attachment. So you need to provide the file path here. So we'll go to the desktop. So I have this article on desktop. So I'll attach this article in the email. So select this article, shift and right click and copy as path. Copy this path, go back to Blue Prism and provide the path here. Remove the double quotes and click on OK. So once the collection item is completed, go back to sending message. Go to collections. Here in the collection, select this. And click on OK. Click on reset and let us run. and here you go, you can see the process is completed. So let us go to the email inbox and check if we have received an email with an attachment. So here we go, we have received the email with the attachment. Let us open it. The same email with the subject demo and the body as hello, and with the article which I had attached, RPA projects. So I have received the attachment. So with that, we have reached the end of this video. That was all about the demo on email automation. If you have any doubts regarding this video, you can comment in the comment section and our team will try to answer. And like and share it if you found it interesting. Thank you for being here. Keep learning and stay tuned to Simplilearn.
Hi there, if you like this video, subscribe to the Simplilearn YouTube channel and click here to watch similar videos. To nerd up and get certified, click here.